Style is a reflection of your identity made visible. Rule number 1 to being dangerously stylish: define what you want your image to represent. Gents, when you understand that your image, your style, is about representing what you stand for, your values, your character, all of a sudden it becomes a form of self-respect. And the respect you have for yourself, well, gents, all of a sudden the motivation to look your best all of a sudden has leveled up. When you make your wardrobe, when you make the way you groom yourself, all of a sudden a reflection of how you see yourself, your style becomes something much more than just chasing a trend. It becomes a tool that you can use to get what you want out of life. So let's just say you're a regular guy. You're married, you got a little girl. How do you view yourself? As a father? As a provider? As a protector? Well, then choose clothing that reinforces how you see yourself. Probably clothing that's going to be functional, that's going to be comfortable, in a sense is going to be utilitarian. Well, then if that's you and it works with your professional life, embrace it. Or maybe you're single, putting all your time and energy into your kid, which is your business, because you're a creative entrepreneur trying to have an impact on the world. Well, in that case, wear clothing that instills confidence, trust, sends a signal that you're competent. But don't be afraid to have a little bit of fun, maybe with a splash of color or with accessories that set you apart from the crowd. So building right off that, the next step to be dangerously stylish is to master the uniform that suits your lifestyle. You don't need more clothes. You just need the right ones. So a stylish man builds out an interchangeable wardrobe that serves him. Example, you're a leader, but you like to dress smart casual? Well, then maybe have a few blazers and sports jackets, a variety of light-colored Oxford collar button-downs, a few pairs of dark-colored jeans, and maybe a few pairs of chinos in dark and lighter colors, 2 pairs of loafers, one in a dark brown, one in a light tan made from suede. Or maybe you're an engineer and you view your look as that of a modern craftsman. Then for shirts, maybe pick up a few Henleys, both in short and long sleeve. Instead of just regular jeans, go for selvage denim, something that's going to be tougher, thicker, heavier. Your foundation of your wardrobe, you go for dark colored laced boots. And as for a jacket that has a bit of history and style, you grab the classic chore jacket. Now, what if you work in the city? You go into the office, but it's got a really casual environment. For you, the look is more of a refined minimalist. Overall, the color palette here is going to be monochromatic. When it comes to your basics, you're keeping them simple. High quality, dark colored black tees with V-necks and simple performance pants in gray. And of course, you keep the simplicity down to the footwear as well, just going for a pair of classic sneakers. The next rule to being dangerously stylish is to understand that fit is king, but tailoring is the throne. It all starts with the fit of your clothing. So the reality is this: most men wear clothing that is too big for them. Now, there are 3 reasons for this. First up, most men aren't going to buy clothing that's too tight or too small. No, if they're going to make a mistake when it comes to fit, they're going to go for something that's too big. And 2, buying clothing that's too large for you is really simple because most clothing is made to fit a wide variety of body shapes. Therefore, all the sizing and the way the clothing is built, it is made to fit large. Even on an individual, it somewhat fits because they're trying to accommodate so many different body builds. And finally, the 3rd reason why most guys wear clothing that's a bit too large is that they don't know how to tailor or get clothing adjusted. So, how to fix this? First up, understand what good fit looks like. Now, a big part of this depends on your body type, but looking at these images right here, we can see a man that's wearing poor fitted clothing, that same individual wearing well-fitted clothing. The big difference is that the clothing not only fits closer to the body, but also the design and cut of the clothing better suits his build. In fact, a common misconception about clothing that fits a man well is somehow is going to be uncomfortable. That's actually not true. It's just unfamiliar, not uncomfortable. It's like going to the gym for the first time. You're just not used to the feeling of clothing fitting on your body properly. And clothing that does fit on your body properly, that's designed for your build, is usually, like on jackets, going to have a higher armhole, which is actually going to give you more freedom of movement. Now, once you understand what good fit looks like, then you want to take the clothing that's in your wardrobe that you actually wear, that you actually like, and you want to put it on and say, hey, can I take this and get it adjusted to fit me better? Most guys out there think when it comes to tailoring, that's only for suits. Guys, it goes beyond that. Your casual clothing, you can actually get adjusted. I'm not going to recommend t-shirts, but casual button-downs, dress shirts, your chinos, your jeans, all of these can be hemmed, they can be darted, they can be brought in, and in a sense, recut in a way that they are going to look better on your build. Now, gents, really quick, wherever you're at in your style journey, I've created a free group that you can join to level up, to improve your style, and become the man you know yourself to be. This free community has over 10,000 men just like you, taking steps every day to become their best self. And I'm proud to say in this group over the last year, we've given away over $25,000 in clothing, watches, fragrances, accessories. And I've done this absolutely free because here at Real Men Real Style, we're on a mission to help a million men step up their style and to become the best dressed man in the room, a man who walks with confidence because he knows who he is. In a nutshell, you becoming your best self, because style is that catalyst. You see, when you dress well, you dress for success. And your clothing, as many of you guys know, has a huge effect on your mindset and how you feel and how confident you are. So if you're ready to take one small step to becoming your best self, join our free group. It's over at school/RMRS. Again, it's absolutely free. We have weekly giveaways. And I've also made a number of my best-selling courses absolutely free in the group. Seriously, gents, just check it out. It's an amazing group. The next tip to be dangerously stylish is to understand that grooming is equal to visual precision. Neglecting grooming is like painting a masterpiece on a dirty canvas. Now, as many of you guys know, grooming standards over the years throughout history have changed a lot. And even to this day, culture to culture are different. So when it comes to being dangerously stylish, you got to understand the grooming routines of your region. Now, if they're lower than your personal standards, let's say you're traveling in a country where no one seems to use deodorant, well, you still want to maintain your standards, in my opinion, but understand you never want to offend. Example, if you're going to be traveling throughout Japan, especially on public transportation, don't be throwing on a heavy fragrance because that would be considered rude. Now, to be dangerously stylish when it comes to grooming is surprisingly simple. First up, shower at least daily and shower as needed. Example, you've been outside most of the day, you've been sweating, you're feeling a little bit right, but you're going to go out that evening, then of course, re-shower. When it comes to your hairstyle, choose a style that works for you. Go see a stylist. This is a person that has seen thousands of heads, most likely has gone to school for this. They're probably going to have some great ideas on how you can style your hair in a way that suits your natural features and helps you look your best. When it comes to facial hair, daily, you want to keep it trimmed, you want to keep it clean. When it comes to your skincare, I recommend you have a daily routine in the AM and the PM. At the very minimum, using a face wash that's gentle on the skin, maybe using an exfoliator twice a week, and using a moisturizer first thing in the morning and in the evening, ideally opting for a morning moisturizer that has a little bit of sunblock in it. And let's not forget the nails. Of all the things in grooming you can mess up, it seems like this is the one that the ladies zero in on. So you want to keep them clean, you want to keep them trimmed. The way you carry yourself matters more than what you carry. The next step to be dangerously stylish: control your posture and movement. Roll the shoulders back. You don't want to be slouching forward. In a sense, you want to be pushing your chest out and you want your chin parallel to the ground. When entering a room for the first time, especially if you're nervous, slow things down. Walk in deliberately and have a point in which you're heading to. Have a direction. Next up, you want to avoid fidgeting. You want to avoid nervous movements. Anytime we see this, it just sends a signal that this person is feeling uncomfortable. Instead, you want to relax and occasionally use hand movements, but only to express points when you're speaking. And if you're seated, take up the full space. Don't try to minimize yourself. You're going to see occasionally people, they hunch down, they get smaller. You don't want to be doing that. You want to occupy, you want to own the space that you have. The next tip to being dangerously stylish is to speak with measured confidence. A deep voice and a measured pace convey authority without needing to say much. Now, the words we say matter, but sometimes the way we say them matters even more. So if you want to sound more confident when you're speaking, first up, slow things down. Next up, don't be afraid to lower your pitch. Now, there are exercises out there that can help with this, but what you want to avoid is speaking way too quick, because what naturally happens is your voice starts to elevate. This comes off as nervous, less in control, and in some cases, even less masculine. Next up, don't be afraid of silence. Say what you need to say and then pause. And when you're speaking, remember, it's not how much you say, but it's oftentimes what you say. Don't be afraid to speak less. Be a good listener. Ask great questions. And believe me, if you can be a good listener, if you can ask great questions, people are going to associate that listening with you liking them, with them finding you interesting because you ask them intuitive questions, all of this leading to a halo effect that they associate with you. True style includes emotional control. The next tip to being dangerously stylish: cultivate stillness and composure. So whenever you're watching a good hero flick, what do we notice about the hero? Whenever he is confronted with danger? Well, if he's doing things right, he is staying calm under pressure. When confronted with alarm, with danger, he doesn't panic. No, he slows down. He assesses the situation. So how can you build composure? Well, the first tip here is to practice your breathing. If you're not meditating, I would highly recommend it. But just simply, taking 10 seconds and taking a deep breath. What happens when you do a few of these? Well, all of a sudden you've got more oxygen coming into your body. You feel more alert. You feel more alive. And you really haven't had to do anything different, but just alter the way that you're bringing air into your lungs. The next tip is to pay attention, in some cases to the threat, other times you're just paying attention to other people. What's going to happen when you do this? Naturally, you are going to blink less. The reason this matters is it subconsciously to other people signals that you are confident, that you are in charge. And finally, when you notice others getting emotional, others raising their voices, others speaking quicker, well, this is a great time for you to slow things down, either in your conversations with them or if you're speaking to the group. Lower your tone, lower the energy, bring it back to normal, despite the fact that everything around you may be delving into a bit of chaos. An example here would be a high-stakes meeting. This could be with your spouse, this could be at work. But yeah, the conversation's getting heated. Emotions are starting to get the best of people. You can see redness in faces. Well, in this case, stay grounded. Focus on your breathing, lower the tone, slow the conversation, and bring it back to a calmer level. So this one's pretty simple, gents, but choose your accessories wisely. Choose the right accessory for the occasion. For me personally, when we're talking accessories, whether we're talking jewelry, watches, leather bags, sunglasses, I always encourage a man to add them slowly to his wardrobe to buy the best that he can afford at the time, with him ideally buying pieces that are not only versatile, but can serve him for decades. So when it comes to watches, if you work in a really conservative field, then getting a leather dress watch is going to make sense. Me, I dress a bit more casual. I just simply love dive watches, which is great because it matches my lifestyle, whether I'm out swimming with my kids or needing a watch for a suit. This one is going to serve all my needs. When it comes to sunglasses, there are tons of trendy options out there, but for most men, aviators, wayfarers, or club masters are going to be the three styles that you want to start with. I would recommend getting a pair of each, always keeping them in a case when you're not wearing them. And these right here could last you years. And every time you wear them, they're going to be making you look great. Now, when it comes to leather bags, whether it's a weekender, whether it's a briefcase, it really depends on your lifestyle and what you need. But I find that leather is timeless and it's incredibly durable. And don't be afraid of modern accessories that maybe enhance your life. For me, I wear an Oura ring. I simply love being able to track my sleep, my activity, and my stress levels so that I can have a better idea of where my health's at. The point is, accessories are there for you to have a little bit of fun. They add a bit of spice to your style. So don't be afraid to explore, experiment, have fun. Next up, be engaged, not overly eager. Confidence is knowing your value without needing others to validate it. So a huge mistake I see a lot of men make whenever they're around people that they want to impress, they come off as performative. Guys, you don't need to do this. You just need to be present. And by present, I mean you're social. You're genuinely interested in other people. You're talking with people. You're asking them a lot of questions. You're actively listening, which means you aren't waiting for your turn to speak. No, you're listening to what this person has to say. And then your questions, your follow-up questions, are actually delving deeper into what they just said. If you're having a disagreement, this person doesn't see the world as you do, well, guess what? You are seeking to understand, not trying to convince them of your point of view. You're on guard about not interrupting. A lot of us have this issue, me included, and you never want to brag. You want people to discover things about you. It's always great when you're having a good conversation. You're learning more about this person, and they naturally start to become curious about this person that they like, that they're having this great conversation with. And guys, always remember who you're speaking with, who your audience is. I'll be honest, gents, I became a lot better speaker when I had kids because my kids had friends, and I realized that I wanted to be able to engage with all of them, so I had to talk at their level. I had to understand a 3-year-old versus a 17-year-old. There are different points. They're thinking about different things, but when you speak to your audience, when you speak to them where they're at in life, where their concerns are at, you'd be amazed at how open they are to listening and having a conversation when they understand that you get them. So be present, not performative. Understand that you're speaking to a human being and treat them as such. Your presence speaks volumes, but let your character speak louder. Guys, if you want to be dangerously stylish, let your reputation do the talking. Ultimately, gents, your style isn't what you wear, but it's what people associate with you. A dangerously stylish man doesn't have to impress because he's already impressive. You do this by being consistent, by having personal standards that you not only hold others to, but you also hold yourself to. You're also a man of your word. You're very careful to give it, but when you say you're going to do something, you do it. You follow through. You are disciplined. You're not trying to be flashy. You're playing the long game. You master the fundamentals because you never get bored with the basics, and you become so good that others and the world can't ignore you. Now, gents, if you enjoyed this video, I have a feeling you are going to love this one right here. I made it a while back. It is a solid vid, so go check it out. Boom, right there. Oh, yeah.